Fight fans, we are ready for our next fight. Making his way to the cage and fighting out of the red corner, it's Andrew Harder.
And speaking of young, upcoming talent, we are back here with the fifth fight of the night for CageZilla 80 with Andrew Harder making his way to the ring. This is the heavyweight division, and yet Andrew Harder is coming in about 30 pounds under the limit here, yet still the 6'3" behemoth is looking to make a statement and feels immensely confident in his skills.
Yeah, no, I was going to say this guy's energy exuded a lot of confidence here when we were talking to him before the show, and, you know, seems like he's very, very focused. He said, anybody that cuts, I shouldn't say cut. I mean, he did cut, but he made a 150-pound weight loss before starting MMA. So that right there, that you need dedication, and you know, that right there was the beginning of his start into MMA. He's 1-0 now. He moved to Arizona to train at Sean O'Malley's gym. And this kid seemed very, very focused. And I'm excited to see what he looks like here in his second MMA bout.
And his opponent, making his way to the cage and fighting out of the blue corner, it's Andre Monroe.
Andre Monroe, though, is a thoroughbred heavyweight, Brent. This is a man currently sitting at a 2-2 record, but he has certainly made a statement here with the 50% finish rate in CageZilla. Last time that we saw him, he was finishing Fabian Law, in fact, in under 2 minutes just 2 months ago. So this is someone with quite the pedigree coming on in here to face off against Andrew Harder, who at a 1-0 record is still looking to really make a name for himself here in this environment. Andre Monroe, fighting out of Beta Academy from Washington, D.C. at 32 years old, is still chasing glory here in the heavyweight division. Yeah,
I remember commentating on his fight, in the last fight with Fabian Law here. I was actually commentating in CageZilla Espanol, but nonetheless, it was an exciting heavyweight bout. Fabian Law is nobody to mess with either, but Andre Monroe made quick work of him, so this is going to be a heck of a fight. Two guys that really think they're going to put a stamp on each other. So, you know, somebody has to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for three-minute rounds in the CageZilla heavyweight division. It is brought to you by our friends at Handyman Dumpster Services, reliable dumpster services, and Tony's New York Style Pizza, simply the best Italian dishes in Northern Virginia. And now, starting out, fighting out of the red corner, standing 6'3" and weighing in at 265 pounds, he is an independent fighter with a record of 1 win and no defeats. It's Andrew Harder. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5'11" and weighing in at 265 pounds, fighting out of Beta Academy with a record of 2 wins and 2 defeats. It's Andre Monroe. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for three-minute rounds in the CageZilla heavyweight division. It is brought to you by Handyman Dumpster Services and Tony's New York Style Pizza. Your referee is Michael Dolman.
Diving into this next bout, I'm very excited to see heavyweights clash yet again. This is going to be our second heavyweight fight of the night, but with a very different texture and look from that first round that we saw. One of the things to note here, Brent, is the fact that even though we have that weight disadvantage over on the side of Andrew Harder, man, it stands at 6'3". He has a big flying knee immediately caught by Andre Monroe, and it looks like that reach I was about to mention isn't going to come to play as both of them are right upon one another. Andre, with that veteran skill to pivot Andrew into the corner, now is trying to find control.
Big flying knee. Andre Monroe turned him right to the cage. Definitely tested the integrity of the cage. I saw that cage bend backward, and this is a lot of horsepower here in the cage right now.
And it looks like Andre Monroe is not stopping for a second, putting all of his weight onto Andrew Harder, looking for a leverage position under the chin of Andrew, getting more shots to the stomach and sides, and trying to now find a way to wrench him and maybe to go for a takedown.
Yeah, Andre's putting some good pressure here on the cage. Andrew's staying patient here, but he's got to work his way off the cage, start making some offense for himself if he wants to advance. I assume Andre might try to drag this to the ground. We'll see.
The one thing I'm a little bit worried about here is I feel like Andrew is in the worst position he could be in with such a massive weight disadvantage, unable to use rotational force to really get yourself out of this awkward situation. You can really do nothing else except for open yourself up to Andre, who's continuing to just hammer this opponent up into the sidewall. Finally, though, with control of the head, Andrew slowly negotiating a way out of this one, but Andre is just going to try to redouble his efforts to continue to force Andrew Harder up against the cage wall.
Yeah, I mean, Andre's got a ton of pressure there, pushing with all of his might, getting him up against the cage. But nice, Andrew trying to make his way to turn away. But like you say, there's a little bit of a weight advantage for Andre. And we'll see if they start throwing some strikes here on the inside, little dirty boxing. I'd like to see some knees, some inside punches. And, I'm sure Andrew here is going to be getting tired of having his back to the cage, so he's going to have to make a little space and turn Andre.
Yeah, getting tired is certainly the operative part of this, though. I think that Andre Monroe is looking for this to go the distance and knows that if he's going to continue to be in this power position, he's going to look good on the judges' scorecards. Andrew Harder, once again, just trying to fight his way out of this awkward situation, but all he has done is move from one panel of the cage to another.
Yeah, he tried to say something to the ref there and got one punch to the face for it, so he better not take his eyes off of his opponent. He better stay focused on Andre.
Andrew's trying to negotiate something with those knees straight to the belly of Andre Monroe. Big wrench. Here comes the turnaround. Andre Monroe finally going to fight with his back to the cage wall. And now Andrew Harder is looking for the takedown. Has leg picked and now looking for control of the hips. Back over, moving maybe towards a side headlock, but it's just going to be Andre Monroe once again reasserting dominance up against the cage wall as the clappers sound with only a few seconds left in this first round.
Yeah, a lot of good dominance from Andre against the cage, but not anything that was over the edge. I think Andrew was hanging in there, really was trying to find a way off the cage and just wasn't able to do it in 3 minutes. So, maybe he'll have to rethink a little bit of his strategy. He's got reach, he's got height. I think he'll start to use maybe some of that here in this second round, hopefully.
Well, I think one thing that may play in his favor as we move into round number 2 is that he's probably not going to be doing that flying knee anymore, which means he's not going to be giving up immense real estate on the CageZilla cage over to Andre Monroe for free, because it was off that single move that we saw the lock come in. Andre Monroe clinches him, brings him to the corner, and after that point, it was basically just a full-on lean fest with a blue corner up against the red. Andrew Harder now, I think, probably wants to go for a little bit more of a traditional striking game plan.
Yeah, no, like I say, he doesn't look gassed. He didn't sit on the stool. He was looking around, and he looks like he's focused in on this second round, and he definitely wants a different outcome.
Well, we are about to start the second round, speaking of which. Andrew Harder, I'm going to disagree with you a little bit, Brett. I think does look quite a bit gassed. I mean, he certainly was expending a little bit more effort than Andre Monroe in that round number 1. And even if he isn't the most tired that we've seen all night, as, I don't think anyone's going to be taking that title away from that first fight with some crazy stuff coming out of the likes of Josh Klein and then Brian Heidler later on in the night. Fact of the matter is that Andrew Harder is looking a little bit worse for wear compared to Andre Monroe, who isn't breathing it hard at all, is completely happy to, I think, re-engage back to the exact same style that we saw in round number 1.
Okay.
And Chris, I told Michael Dolman, our referee, before this fight starts, Andre Monroe is one of those guys that you see in a bar and somebody just talks trash to him.
Oh my God!
And he just cleans them out. He is so unassuming, but he is a monster.
Yeah.
And he's got, for a big guy, he's got extremely fast hands.
Yeah, 5'11", 260 pounds. This guy is a bulldozer, and like you say, when he takes Andrew against the cage, he's not just putting him up against the cage; he's pushing him through the cage. And all the audience and judges are glad that cage is there. Now he's really coming for that chin, and we'll see if he finds his mark. I'd like to see some of these guys, or both of these guys, stand in the middle and trade some punches here a little bit.
Once again, it's Andre Monroe continually blanking the one advantage that Andrew Harder has in this matchup, that being the reach. Immediately crashing that box, getting on in there and driving his opponent up against the wall. Yet again, Andre Monroe is in Leansville over here, and he's perfectly happy to continue this up for the rest of the round.
It's only against the rules if you get caught, Brent.
I know. And you saw Andrew look back at his hand man, he's grabbing the cage.
It's the worst spot to be, right in front of me when you're sweaty.
Yeah. Especially when those punches start landing.
Yep.
And Andrew Harder is doing his best here to just try to play that little micro game with the arms, looking for a leverage position here, but Andre Monroe is barely giving him the opportunity to move. Every time that you see that shift on the shoulder or something like that, dropping of guard, all of a sudden, boom, here comes a shot from Andre Monroe straight to the jaw, and when you are doing that at 260 pounds, that can be enough to put anyone away.
Yeah, I mean, and Andrew tried to get it to the ground. I don't know why Andre's not doing the same thing. He's getting him right to the cage, right where he wants him. I think if he got a nice single leg, dragged him to the ground, he would be even more successful. Oh,
man.
Uh-oh, don't turn away.
Got me.
Andrew Harder certainly looks like he's now beginning to gas out just a little bit here, opening up that guard. And you see, as soon as that happens, Andre Monroe, happy to continue to fight on his feet, is going to dive in there, get that flurry of punches straight to the head, and once again, jump right back to this position that he's been in for so much of the fight.
Yeah, Andre is having success with his hands. I think he would have success with his takedowns, but he's deciding to kind of just hold him against the cage, which he is also having success with. But it's giving Andrew a chance to kind of take a breather and rest a little bit.
Now, I do wonder if this is a strategic call that is going to translate into our third rounders. We only have 20 seconds left in the second one, Brent. Maybe that is when we're going to see Andre try to go for a big takedown. He's trying to blank these first two rounds, and then when Andrew is fully gassed out, he's going to make that big move. There's the clappers right now. Andrew doing a good job keeping his wits about him, looking for those knees. But once again, Andre going to deliver a vicious set of shots, forcing the guard up. Andrew Harder chased to another sidewall as the bell will ring.
Jeez. I don't like how Andrew just turns his back and kind of turns his face away once Andre starts punching. He doesn't have the defense, and he's not throwing those telephone blocks up. He's kind of just throwing his arms in the air and taking a lot of shots to the chin. They would drop most people, honestly, but he's standing there taking them. Not necessarily the thing to do in a fight, but he's standing there and taking them. And Andre, like a bulldozer that he is still pushing forward with punches in his whole body, just taking him against the cage. So,
whoa! And I think that's the judge calling off this bout.
Oh,
it
wow.
looks like Andrew Harder has thrown in the towel, and Andre Monroe is going to walk away with the victory.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know who called that one, the ref or on Andrew's corner. Or
I believe it was Andrew's corner.
Or Andrew himself. But possibly a good call with all the punishment he was taking.
I do like the fact that Andrew Harder fought his best and got tested in a new way. Remember, at a 1-0 record, he's only seen a little bit of the MMA sphere, especially as his first win was against Igor Lekhejovic, where he got a TKO in 37 seconds. Now in an extended fight, he's shown that maybe he has to work on conditioning a little bit, and maybe it's also just a matter of finding a weight class to settle in. Welterweight may be more of his speed, just given the fact he was giving us so much weight, but congratulations to Andre Monroe for such a strategic approach to this fight.
Yeah. Andrew, like I say, exuded a lot of confidence when I was speaking to him before the fight. He's 23 years old. He's going to learn from this. He's going to bounce back and come out a better fighter. I mean, if he's only 1-0, he got a TKO in 37 seconds. That's really only 37 seconds of cage time that he had in there, and that's nothing. Today he got a little bit of kind of the wear and tear of being held against the cage, and what are you going to do when you meet obstacles? And part of the biggest part of being a fighter is being able to make adjustments. And he just wasn't able to make adjustments on the fly. And in my opinion, Andre just kept the pressure and really had a little bit too much for him. So Andre, definitely a heavyweight to watch out for here in the CageZilla cage. He's got a lot going for him. He's powerful beyond belief. Like I say, he was bending these CageZilla cage panels, and again, a heavyweight to watch. Heavyweights are always exciting to watch, but really, Andre, kudos to him, and congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Michael Dolman has made a stop to the action after the second round when the red corner could not answer the bell. For your winner by TKO out of the blue corner, it's Andre Monroe.
Like and subscribe to CageZilla.